Here we are on the final week of our Black History Month coverage. We get the pleasure of learning about a Bangor native who was eager to become a teacher since she was a little girl. She was a first in many ways and wanted to make her mark on the world of education. Here's the first Black Mainer who attained a degree from the University of Maine and taught right here in her hometown of Bangor.
I swore when I taught that no one would struggle like I did.
Nancy Dymond grew up right here in the Queen City. Her grandfather was the first to plant her family's roots in the Pine Tree State.
His father came to Maine from Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, and he came to work in the woods, as a lot of people did back in those days. It was 1896. And then in 1901, my grandmother came over, and they were married here in Bangor and raised their 10 children on 4th Street.
She and her 2 siblings graduated from Bangor High School. She traveled and lived in Boston for 8 years until she had to come back home.
My mom passed away, and I ended up a year after that moving back home, and never thought I would be here this long. That was in 1990, so I've been back a long time. But yeah, I made a life for myself here.
The hard work and perseverance instilled in her from her family drove Nancy to start a new chapter.
So I decided it was time to go back to school, finish my degree. And so in December of '97, I graduated with an BS degree in elementary education.
And without knowing, she made history.
I was the first Black native Mainer to graduate from a University of Maine system school and teach in Maine.
Nancy had no words when she had discovered what she accomplished, and it was through the story of a Black educator who studied at UMaine but struggled along the way, all because of who he was.
I was surprised. I mean, I had no idea. That information came about from an article in the UMaine Alumni magazine, and I believe it was in 2001.
As Nancy reflected on this moment, she couldn't help but think about other educators who paved the way for her.
We met a lot of Black people who've received education degrees from the University of Maine, and a couple of local people, Johnny Eartha, who grew up in Holton, and then, of course, Burl Warner Williams.
Seeing these individuals break down countless barriers, she eventually did the same.
I always wanted to be a teacher. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a teacher. So it took me a while to get there, but I got there. Yeah.
So that's Nancy Dymond, a beautiful person inside and out. Later on TV5 News, we'll learn more about her journey in education from start to finish and why the phrase "knowledge is power" led her to accomplishing the unthinkable. Back to you. Earlier, we introduced you to the first Black Mainer to earn an education degree from the University of Maine and teach in the Pine Tree State, Nancy Dymond. The Bangor native accomplished this in 1997, and now we'll learn more about her 19-year journey in education and what she's up to nowadays.
And I love teaching. Love the kids, my colleagues. I've worked with some great people.
After earning her bachelor's in elementary education from the University of Maine in 1997, Nancy Dymond got a job at Down East Elementary School teaching 2nd grade. As she embarked on her new journey, it was impossible to not think about how proud she made her #1 fan who always stood in her corner, her father.
My dad, excuse me, Sir Sterling Dymond Jr., passed away 10 years ago at 93, and he was an amazing man, was well known in the community, well respected. And he was just always positive.
Which helped shape her career in education. Nancy always ensured her students felt at home, never left behind, and understood mindfulness and respect.
We always, of course, start off with the pledge, and then we would just have a time together, just kind of to settle ourselves in. I made sure that respect was a big thing with me, and fairness.
Nancy taught at Down East for 12 years and later got a job in Hamden as an Ed Tech 3 in special ed. She's seen the highs and lows of the education world and encourages teachers to stick out the challenges and to never be afraid to use your voice. Like any profession, it comes with challenges, but the results are rewarding.
I encourage anyone to go into education, and we also need to do a better job of listening to our teachers. Equitable pay for teachers.
And Nancy retired in June 2023 after 19 years in education. And she said at first, things felt a little odd.
It was really strange when, like in August, because that's when teachers get ready for school. And it was like, oh, I don't have to get ready. It was a little strange, a little bit of a down, you know. But that first day of school, it was 90 degrees and 97% humidity, and I thought, it's okay. I'm not on the playground.
While her hobbies may look a little different nowadays as she's involved in the community through her church and even theater, Nancy wants all educators to hear this message.
I say just go with your dreams, step out there on faith, and you can do this. You can do this. Mm-hmm.
Nancy left me with some very encouraging words after the interview. She said to be a lifelong learner, and it's true. Staying curious and learning lessons is what we do every day, no matter where we are. It leads to our professions, adventures, and it led to this series of stories for Black History Month. So thank you, Nancy, for making your mark in education right here in Maine. And thank you for joining us on this incredible learning journey for Black History Month. Back to you.